Okay, so here we are at the safari park at the Town of the Wild Animal Park. We went there for Easter, I believe, and we're in our Easter dresses. I believe my mom made these. We didn't have much money growing up because my dad, Danny Wagner, left us kids, so my mom sometimes had to work 2 jobs. This is my sister Stephanie when she was going through her phase of short hair. My great-grandmother just passed away, so we had a funeral back in the 80s. I think it was 1989. And then my great-grandfather didn't die until 2000 and something, and he was 96 years of age. Crazy! So here's my grandfather, Sherwood, who died at the age of 85. And then my grandmother, Kathleen, who died at 69. Sad, right? But they lived a good almost 50 years together. And when they first met, my grandfather was in the Navy, and my grandmother, she was in school still, and my grandfather took her out, and the next thing you know, they got married. True story. So that's that. I think it's a really cool story, though. I had older pictures that I put up. A lot of these books are really old, but we went on a lot of tours and did a lot of things together as a family. My grandmother Kathleen and my grandfather Sherwood. Sorry you guys, I'm doing this all live sort of. So we go places. My sister and I loved cats, and that's what's over here happening. I think we're in New York. We might not be. We might be in Pennsylvania. We went to a lot of different places. I've already seen a whole United States, but it was really cool to see. And then this was a church, because my grandmother was fascinated with churches, so we'd always go to churches. And somewhere in Washington, D.C., here's all our stuff that we got, like the White House tour, 14 at 11 a.m., tour time from whatever. I mean, and then my grandmother had such beautiful writing. Look at her writing. In 1984, yeah, so so all the stuff that she kept, and Gray Line, they're still around. How funny. Washington, yeah, we did a lot of fun things. So here's my dad and me. As you can see, we're very erotic color skin, so they always thought that we were islanders or Hispanic or something. There's my dad, and I think that's Larry. Yeah, that's Uncle Larry. And my dad. My dad was in a band, so he didn't stay around a lot. So if you're wondering who this is Michael LeMay. That's my sister. See? And there's Michael LeMay. I mean Timmy LeMay. Timmy LeMay, and then Michael LeMay. That's Timmy. He was like a brother to us. This is me. That's my sister. That's Michael LeMay. That's my beautiful mother. So, gosh, it's so bad. Should re-glue these. There's my sister and me. Me and my grandmother. Oh, and I always cracked up jokes, even when I was a little kid. I always made funny things, and my grandmother's there, she could not stop laughing at me. That's Earl. Not Earl, that's Michael. We're in Girl Scouts. Here's my mother, my sister, and me. No dad! And at that time, my dad was married to Lynn, and I have a half sister. That's my sister. That's my sister. I can tell by the McDonald's nose, my dad's nose. They both have the same exact nose and personality. There's my sister with long hair. I don't know if that's me. That might be me with short hair, because my sister liked to cut my hair. That's my sister and me. Yeah. And then my sister was very difficult to get along with as she got older. When she was a teenager, she thought she was a grown individual. Here she is here. There she is there. And then, let me tell you about our pet. Timmy again. And okay, well, Pablo. He's still alive, by the way. He's downstairs. My mother, when she went to a wedding, or maybe it was them. Yeah, it was their wedding, because they had so many parties when they got married. See, there's my dad and his guitar. Now you guys know why I like music. Not musicians, dating wise, but I do like music. Musicians, they're all cheaters. So there's my dad's van. I was just talking about that with my mom. And I wasn't really a big fan of my father's. I really didn't care for him. I do now because he's, I grew up. Oh, there's Nancy, my mom. I still talk to Nancy, so is my mom. They're good friends. So this is my mother, and that's Nancy. This is Tammy and Hutch. They just died not too long ago. I loved them and miss them very, very deeply. Like I said, I had a lot of people die. In 2010, I lost about 20 friends and family members. And then when 2020 happened, we lost Earl, my mom's boyfriend, and a couple other people. So here's me, which I got very, very sick on the boat. That's my sister and that's my grandfather. There I am there eating a salad, New Orleans salad. And Grandpa goes, taking your picture. And I'm like, huh? So then he took it. And then there's my grandmother and the motorhome. Yeah, that was a fun motorhome. We did so much things there. So, and then this is the Evers. This is from where my great-grandfather is at. No, my great-grandmother, Elizabeth Evers. And then Fred died, which we called him a goat, in 2000 something. Here's my great-grandmother. I love her. She was the best thing that ever happened to me. And then when she passed, it was very difficult. Here's my grandfather and my grandmother. My grandfather worked for the water district in Valley Center. My sister playing baseball. At that age, I was terrified of balls in my face. Make it as you want, a joke. But I didn't like anything in my face. So there I am. There's my great-grandma. That's when she got sick. That's my grandpa, my great-grandpa, my sister, my mom, my grandma, and my grandpa, and our motorhome. We've always had motorhomes because we always traveled. That's one thing that my grandfather did want us to see was the world. So it was a good ending. So that's it, you guys. It says Kimberly's birthday, but as you can see, there's no pictures of my birthday in 84. Oh, that must be that's the year that my great-grandmother died, so that makes sense. I was always in very colorful clothing. And then in 84, let's see, I think 86 is when I started doing TV shows as a kid on the background and stuff. So I did a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting things as a child. But you would never known it was me unless I pointed it out because of all the different colors hair. And I will show you guys that too. I did have blonde hair at one point, but that was more of a, there's part of it. But yeah, my grandfather, my dad, this is my actual dad, my father. I have more pictures of him. But yeah, he's what, 6'4", and he played guitar. He also worked on cars and motorhomes and a lot of everything. But he didn't like cutting his hair. That's one thing that my grandfather did say about my dad. My grandpa goes back old school. I guess that's the reason why I'm like old-fashioned love too, because I'm a lot like how my grandfather is. But I have my legs crossed on me. See, there I am there with super long hair. My sister loved cutting my hair. I didn't care. I just let her do it. I don't like to argue or fight with people. Still don't. It's really sad to see Michael LeMay. He died of a massive heart attack. It's not for my mom. It was way after they broke up. But yeah, Timothy was the coolest little guy. He was almost like my little brother. He was actually Michael's son, so it's pretty cool. But there, my sister and I are. Yeah, erotic kids. You have such erotic kids. What are you guys? What's your native? What's your what are you? There I am crying. I always cried when I was a little kid. I just could not communicate, and nobody could understand what I was trying to say. So it was so frustrating at times because nobody would understand me. I didn't start talking until I was 5 years of age. Yeah. My sister understood me, but if she was around, it was even more frustrated. So this is me, my sister, my grandpa. I don't know if I actually showed you guys this. Here we are at the Wild Animal Park. Now it's called the Safari Park. This is me here, and this is me my 9th grade? 8th grade. So I was going getting heavy. And then growing up was actually pretty fun. I can't say it wasn't, because it really was. But my hair does go blonde. Even in here it's turning in this picture. My mom is a natural blonde, and so is my grandmother. But when they got older, their hair color went darker. So you guys, so what do you think? How about your family members? Do you guys ever put anything up?